Hi. Um, what I thought of doing is making a short preview of what accessories I've put onto my AT. Obviously, some things taken from previous bikes, and just give an indication of what I'm packing on this trip that I'm going to undertake with a friend or two of mine. The reason why it's potentially two friends is because well, there should be two people, but one guy unfortunately hurt his ankle on Sunday evening, and it's Wednesday today, and we're leaving 4 a.m. on Thursday morning. So there's no pressure on him, nobody wants to contact him, but at the end of the day he must decide if he's going to join us or not. The trip goes from Johannesburg in South Africa, around Lesotho, and back to Johannesburg. Overall, the trip is more or less 1,750 kilometers on GPS. We're planning on having a 3-night stayovers, so it's not too much time for messing around. If you can run through my preparation for the bike, it's taken a little bit of a while. For once we're on the dirt, I've got headlight protectors I'm going to put on. Just clip on. Because we're leaving early hours of the morning, I want to take them off to get the benefit of the lights. I used to have these on my old Adventure, but realistically the bright lights on the AT is quite good. I'm not sure if you actually need those spotlights, but I had a place to mount them, and so I had that done. I fitted the Rockfox crash bars, the upper bars as well as the lower bars, as well as the Rockfox bash plate. In terms of fall protection, I've also mounted the Hepco and Becker crash bars for the Explorer panniers. I'll leave them on permanently, and also for protection I've done the Storm hand guards, the blockbusters. I can tell you what, these things are amazing. I'm super impressed with them. I've had a silly fall over, both left and right, and whatever protection I've got on the bike really worked very well. I've also got these flying brick bags that clip velcro onto the crash bars. Are actually made for the crash bar, which is quite nice. And to protect they do chafe on the dirt roads, they do rub a little bit on the paint. So I've just taken a bicycle tube, and just for the purpose of this trip I've actually just cable tied them on to try and prevent a bit of chafing. On my one fall to the left hand side once, when a 4x4 and a big trailer decided that the corner belonged to him on quite a tricky section, actually fell onto this side, and the bag took the protection. I've got a little bit of a scuff mark and a little bit of scuff mark on this bar here, but seriously nothing to complain about. Other things that I've done is fitted the center stand, Hepco and Becker one. It works. What can I say? It's just a center stand. Things that I have done that I think is quite cool. I've mounted a dual USB port there. They are really handy for charging little USB thingies. It works through the ignition switch, so if ignition is off, then the ports are off. I've also mounted my Zuma 660, and that is also powered through the ignition. And I've got my handlebar grips. I really quite like these heated grips because all the controls are here. They sit nicely in your hand. But you just have to be careful that you mount them not too low, otherwise they get in the way of your indicator switch. But they sit quite comfortably, and it's not a big light that glares in your eyes. I've got my good old faithful Wunderlich handlebar bag. In here I carry a cloth, and in the cloth I've got a tire pressure gauge and also an adapter between the valve and the service station pump, because often they don't get into the spokes nicely. And I also carry bags with all the little cables for my microphone and for the helmet cams, as well as for the iPod. I also keep the cables there. I've got a big tank bag, a 15-litre one, but I'm actually getting to like this little one. I try and pack the helmet cams in something quite soft. I keep a knife, some earplugs, a cup, a little map, passport, emergency flashlight. Maybe I'm going to leave the keys in there, I'm not entirely sure how to do that. So little odds and sods. I found that the bigger the bag, the more stuff you carry. So that's like a little thing to get to whenever you need to. I really have become accustomed to liking this little flying brick bag. I've mounted it the wrong way around because it sat better, or sat differently on my adventure, I should say. I'm not sure if it's better, but I've mounted it the other way around, the wrong, back to front here, because I like having the weight directly behind me where the passenger would sit. So what I'm going to go through in detail during the trip, I'll open some of these things and show you, but in essence what I've got, this whole bottom section for the width of the bag, the size of the footprint of the bag, if you can call it that, is a Tupperware bowl with a lid on that sits in here, and all the small tools go in there, little socket sets, all the small tools sits in. It's handy, it's very low down, so that's a lot of weight in there. In this bag, what have I put here now? I don't actually remember. Oh, okay. So there's the chain cleaning brush, waterproof gloves, a little towel, a compressor, there's a cup, some coffee, summer gloves, and then a gas cylinder, some more little bigger tools I've got up there, just in case I might have overpacked the tools. Little gas burner there for the cooker. And then in this little bag is actually really quite nice. I've got an extension with the LED light on there, so if I ever need light at night, or we're not camping on this trip, but I often use it if you're going to go camping and you leave and you arrive late at the campsite and it's dark. What I then can do is plug the extension into this port here, and I've got a converter for the other side to leave it the hella or to make it the big plug. That's really handy, it's tucked away. So the front section is all tools, the heavy stuff, compressor, all that type of stuff. This side I've got one of the tubes, and yes, you guessed it, some cloth, and directly opposite it I've got another tube and some more cloth. So that's all tucked away there. These side pockets are really handy. I think this might actually be an empty one, a spare one. Yeah, this is an empty one. I'm going to put some charges in there in the morning just before we leave. This one has got stretchies and a cargo net and that type of things. In here is a chamois, half a roll of toilet paper, and the cover for the bag is also sits in here, and on the trip I'll show you how that goes on. This pocket has got another Tupperware thing. I rub it in plastic because we've had significant rain in the area in South Africa since about a month ago. Our dams were empty, and currently the dam is actually overflowing. So in here I've got a first aid kit, I think sits in this one. Yeah, it's just got very basic first aid, headache tablets, burn stuff, nothing too much. And I think this one might actually be some more cables. I think I'm not sure. I'm just check again. In my tool tube, I've got every single thing that actually stays on the bike. That's got everything that I'll need to remove a wheel and to repair a puncture. So that stays on the bike, and what stays on the bike are these two long tire levers. This bag, at the moment there's an empty 2-litre Coke bottle in there. There's one section that I'm concerned about the range on the tank. So when I get there, before I get there, I'll actually fill it up with 2 litres and just see how it goes. And then in this other bag, I put the more lighter things in the back here. Here's my headlight protectors. I've got to carry a jersey. What else have I got? Oh, I've got a cap. It's going to be hot. It's Ronnie's Sex Shop cap. People should know where that is. I've separated my clothes into 2 different little bags, and I've got another camera in here, and I've got something here for just in case it gets really cold. One needs to keep warm a bit. And that's really what's in there. What I like about these pockets, they take this Addis container. It fits perfectly into that bag with not much free play. So it's actually really quite a handy bag to have. In essence, that is what my bike looks like, or what it's going to look like in the morning when I leave. This is what it is. It's very comfortable. I've left the suspension. I'm not big. I'm 80 kilos. By the way, this bag, as it is fully loaded, is 19 kilos, and by far the bulk of the weight is on the passenger seat, not hanging off the back. The suspension setting is standard as per the handbook, except I've gone three notches harder on the preload. I'll have to see tomorrow morning how it feels when we hit the dirt road. On the tar, I'm sure it'll be fine. On dirt, it might be different. On the tar, I run slightly harder tire pressure, probably about 2.7 in the rear and 2.5 on the front. And then on the dirt, I think my previous bikes I would run with tubeless tires. I would run a little bit softer, but I think for this test tomorrow, I'm going to take it down to about 2 bar front and back and just see how it feels. I've done quite a serious trip a few months ago on a Sunday, but the bike wasn't loaded, and just to give me, because it was my first longer ride on dirt, I actually left this tire pressure and suspension completely standard. So the tires were 2.4 and 2.2, and I must tell you, the suspension I was very happy with. I'm concerned on this trip it's laden. It's going to be a lot of mud in sections, and I really do not expect the bike to look like this when we get back on Sunday evening. In fact, by tomorrow evening it's going to look significantly different. I'll take videos of the contents of the bag as we pack and unpack them and so on, as well as some videos of the places where we do have our brakes. Cheers.